Hey everybody, welcome back. It's February 2nd, episode 173 of the 359 podcast, and today I am joined by Ben Fox Rubin and Roger Chang. I don't know why I just stuttered on that. Good morning, guys.
Yeah.
I'm pretty forgetful. I get it. It's totally cool.
How's everybody doing today?
Yeah.
Good. Thursday.
We're great. It's Thursday already.
Yeah.
What a busy
End
week.
of the week.
End of our week.
For
Ugh.
me.
I'm
For
ready to
our
fall
podcast.
over. All right. What are we talking about today? We're going to continue earnings season, talking about Facebook, which had a monster quarter. Talk about a couple problems that they're going to have coming down the pike.
Yep.
Also, a couple new interesting ideas for the Amazon Alexa. They haven't come out quite yet, but they will be here sometime soon, or maybe not. We'll end up finding out. And then last, we're going to talk about using social media to help disabled activists come out and protest. As always, send in your questions and comments, and Brian will get to them at the end of the show.
All right, hang on everybody. We're going to record this podcast. We'll be back and join you in the chat, and we'll hang out for a little bit. So here we go in 3, 2...
Welcome to the 359. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
Roger Chang.
Facebook posted another monster quarter with profit doubling and monthly users hitting 1.86 billion
Wow.
with a B.
Yeah.
Video has gotten folks to spend more time on Facebook too, but lurking just below the surface are a handful of problems for the social media giant. First up, the company is running out of space to cram its ads, especially on mobile, because those are much smaller screens.
Sure.
So its growth is expected to slow later this year. So Roger, how big of a problem do you think it's going to be for them?
In terms of maintaining its growth trajectory, yeah, it's going to be a problem. I think it's a problem that most sites have. It's just the lack of real estate, right? Like the lack of tolerance for these ads.
Totally.
I think we're all kind of getting annoyed with these ads, and I know companies like Google and Facebook are trying to make them more seamless, or they're trying to make them less intrusive. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, like when I'm on my phone and I'm quickly going through my feed, like I don't need to get inundated with ads.
And they're trying to do that as much as possible because
Right.
that's how they make money.
Right.
What was interesting about the Facebook earnings, they make over 80% of their revenue from mobile. So and there's much less real estate in that area. So that's a bit of a problem for them. Second, also, this is related to Facebook, Oculus isn't really contributing to growth and was also found guilty in an intellectual property case costing, for now, they may appeal,
Right.
$500 million.
You know what's interesting is sort of the lack of reaction to it. I feel like this was a huge controversy for a while. It was sort
Right.
of this thing this overhang on Oculus, this looming threat.
Yeah, that they essentially
they
stole
stole the-
ideas to
exactly.
create the Oculus Rift.
But now that the ruling is out and it was $500 million penalty, like I don't think anyone really seems to care. I think it's kind of overshadowed by the profits that Facebook have put out. Like,
Like,
$500 million.
We'll just
whatever.
grab it from the money pile.
Exactly.
No
just
big
just
deal.
reach down the couch underneath, grab a little change, and just pay
They're
off
probably
these guys.
still, I would argue that they're probably still going to appeal it. $500 million is nothing to sneeze at, but
Right.
we'll see how big that ends up getting. Next, your Amazon Alexa may someday rat you out if you're ditching class.
Ooh.
That's just one of several new ideas that were considered at a hackathon Amazon helped host recently.
It's really interesting that Amazon's kind of fostering, further, I guess, use of the Alexa, of the Echo speaker. I mean, do you think this stuff is it all pie in the sky, or are we actually going to see this stuff in Alexa soon?
Some of this stuff is going to come. So the idea of what you do is there's this platform that gets your attendance records, and you would be able to have that port over to your Echo. So you walk in, mom walks in and says like, oh, Billy, you weren't in class today, or you missed trigonometry or whatever. Right. That is certainly a possibility if a school is using that type of software.
But it's not just schools, right? Like, what were some of the other applications at this hackathon?
There was one, like Ticketmaster had this idea where you could say, like, what are some nearby concerts?
Right.
Or Bankrate, you could ask, like, what are some local mortgages? So some of it is certainly possible, but we might not see all of it.
Right. Well, lastly, our own Maggie Reardon did a profile or feature taking a look at the way that activists are using social media, Facebook groups, to really make it easier for the disability community to show up at these protests. Obviously, between the Women's March, some of the protests over the immigration ban from this past weekend, there have been plenty of opportunities for people But historically, the disabled community has not really been able to go, right? There have been logistical reasons, like in terms of lack of access. Sometimes it's difficult for people to stand up for a long time. There are all these logistical issues, but Facebook and Twitter has sort of made it a lot easier, created this sort of channel for people to talk and participate.
Yeah, definitely. Well, check out Maggie's story. If you want to read more about these, check us out on CNET. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Roger Chang.
Thanks for listening.
And in the chat, Lovely B35 says 30 hours a week on Facebook.
Wow.
That's
a
impressive.
lot.
That is a lot. I
That
mean, is
is
it
a
30 hours
lot.
continuously? I'm assuming sprinkled throughout the day. but
Yeah,
that's
that-
still
Continuously would be painful.
That can't be in its entirety. There's no way.
30 hours. Wait,
Or
30
like
hours? Did you say 30 hours a week?
Consecutively,
Right?
30 hours a week.
That's pretty.
That sounds like a lot, even for Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, people do spend a lot of time on that watching videos.
Use it as a second screen, I suppose.
Yeah, I know my
Yeah.
wife is. Her eyes are like when she's free. She stopped watching TV and like regular media. She watches mostly videos on Facebook.
Oh, my wife
Mommy
usually
groups,
uses.
based off of the mommy groups.
There are a lot of. My wife uses a lot of mommy groups, but she also mostly uses it to stalk girls she knew from high school and see,
Yeah.
what became
Is she
of
gonna be
their
pissed
lives.
off that you just outed her as a
I don't
stalker?
think she watches this podcast.
Yeah, my wife doesn't either. She did initially. She stopped caring a long time ago.
But we have you wonderful fans, so thank you very
you.
much.
Thanks for joining us. In contrast, Naman says a few minutes a day, less than 10.
Wow. Okay, two
That's pretty
extremes.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to think that mine ebbs and flows heavily.
Yeah.
I would agree with
Depending
that.
on depending on the day. Like if I'm real busy here and I just want to go home and crash at night, the last thing I want to do is look at some
Yeah.
stupid cat meme or something.
You know what? It's hard for me to like count it up, but I look at Facebook maybe 2 minutes at a time. Every time I basically open up my phone,
Right.
Like, I'll just
Which
I'll see
amounts
an
to 30 hours.
yeah, like I guess so. I'll see an alert. I'm like, all right, hit the alert, see what it is.
One thing I've done recently is I've turned off alerts just because I got tired of getting
think that makes a
distracted.
huge
I'll go and
difference.
address it when I can.
Yeah.
I still have messages forwarded to me, so if somebody directly needs to contact me, they can still use that as a platform.
I don't get
but
any alerts.
I'm not getting buzzes in my phone on the fly anymore. and
That would be
that's kind of
pretty
nice,
annoying.
actually.
I've
So-
cut down the number of alerts, but I still do get them, and I think that's what hooks me in every time. And then I'll spend like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes on Facebook there, and then I'll,
One of the things that Facebook is trying to do to get people to spend even more time on Facebook is to promote longer videos. So we should
Yeah.
see some of that later this year and expect to, I guess just sit there and watch stuff on Facebook. They're
more
also
live videos or
either
just
live
longer in
videos or
general?
just
they're
longer in general.
Yeah, I think they're trying to go for more premium content, longer
Right.
form
They're-
premium content.
Wall Street Journal reported that they're working on an app for set-top boxes, which doesn't surprise me at all. Especially
Now, I was confused
if they,
by
like,
that.
work on video
I was
stuff.
confused by that story. Was that for set-top boxes like Roku boxes or set-top boxes like your normal cable box?
I would assume it's for Roku, right? That wouldn't be that hard to
didn't-
do as
I didn't
an
know
app.
because it seemed like
Yeah.
they just said a television set-top box, which isn't that clear anymore.
Right.
That could totally be a cable
That
box.
could be a cable
It could be like a
box.
channel on your cable box.
I didn't know your cable box could have apps.
Maybe that's not. Well,
Yeah.
it could be a channel, I guess, theoretically.
If it's on my
That'd be
Roku, I'm going to go on there every now and then. So I don't think that's a bad idea for them. It's a
yeah,
great way for me to waste
I
more of my
spend
time.
actually a lot of time on the YouTube app on my Roku box. So
Mhm.
I can imagine Facebook.
Watching this.
Yes.
Narcissist. Speaking of, Tom Big in the chat says, not as much time as I spend on YouTube. Oh, bless your heart, Tom.
Hey, there we go.
Hey,
glad to have you here.
We'll use
There
that
we
as
go.
a compliment.
Jerry
We'll take
says,
it.
no Facebook here. I've got a life.
Wow.
Very smart.
Ouch.
That is
Wow.
ouch. No.
I mean, it's
that's-
true. I don't have a
I
life.
agree with.
I don't have a life.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job, fan.
Way to go.
Excuse me.
If I could spend less time on Facebook, obviously I would.
But
in
you
some
can't.
Ways,
Are you like chained to it?
in some ways, because of my job, like you have to keep somewhat appraised of like what the newest features are, what's
Right.
going on this stuff. It's the same thing with Twitter, where like
Well, that's-
multiple times I've thought this is such a time suck. I'm just feeding this thing free content.
Well,
Why
no,
am
I
on
want to
it?
ask, like, what do you spend more time on, Facebook or Twitter?
Almost certainly Twitter.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. And I had to like detox after the election. I took some time off because I was just on it constantly. There was so much news that
Went
was
out to the
coming
cabin for a while.
Yeah.
Did some fishing.
Right. Got to know me.
Shannon says basically all the time because Facebook seems so ubiquitous and video sucks me in fast. So
Yeah,
looks like
there you
she's
go.
screwed.
Okay.
Coming.
And Mark Zuckerberg loves you. So I think you're gonna be a great customer for Facebook moving forward.
Yeah, buddy. And Ricardo, they are in a gray area because they're spending 15 to 30 minutes a day, but it's on Instagram. But Instagram is
Interesting.
owned by Facebook.
And Instagram has been doing more video too, right?
Yep.
So that's look, video is getting really big. Number one, I
Yep.
think the ads are more expensive, so they can make more money off of video, and
Yep.
you just can suck people in. So
Yeah, there's definitely this rabbit hole you can fall into with video and with Facebook content in general, but like video in particular, like one after another, it's kind of like YouTube in that
Right.
respect, right?
Let's change gears real quick because I know
Yeah.
we got to wrap it up soon. Kevin says, I actively help and support the disabled people. Social media definitely have given them a way to express everything. I've seen a lot of them go to rallies, protests, and
Yep.
fundraisers. Social media is empowering, and
that's
is
great.
an
That's really
absolutely
nice.
100% understated truth right there.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, specifically to this story, I mean, obviously there was the Women's March in D.C. This woman here that Maggie talked to actually created a special channel, the Disability Caucus, a special Facebook page. It was kind of an offshoot of the Women's March movement, and it served as like a resource for the disabled community in terms of like places to stay that are more handicap friendly.
Right, to make it easier for folks that do want to protest to actually
Because that's the thing,
attend.
like
Because everybody deserves a voice.
exactly, because it's the easy excuse or the easy thing to say is like, well, you could just protest at home or on social media or online,
Yeah.
but that's everyone should have a fair chance to go
Representation.
physically voice their own opinion. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that. And I think you need to move on, right? You need to get out of here.
Unfortunately.
We got a short show today, unfortunately, everybody. But thanks for joining us. It was great to have you.
yeah, well, that's it for the week.
Yeah, that's it
I
for
think
the
that's
week.
it for the week. So we'll be back on Monday. And thanks everybody for coming on and for your comments and questions.
And we'll see you next week.
The 359 is available on iTunes.
Do you really need to read the
TuneIn.
script that I wrote that you
Come
damn
on.
memorized? It's 173 episodes.
But I like doing it. I like doing it this way.
Good.
Because it looks
Okay.
so awkward.
Good.
It's like,
Sure, yeah,
you
I'm
look
looking
off
at
at the
the
camera, you're
script.
like, 359.
Everybody's wondering why they're still
available.
watching this.
359.
The
Guys,
list of channels and outlets that the 359 is available on is posted on the wall.
It is
Thanks to
posted on the
Brian.
wall. That's why I'm looking
And that's
up
why
right
Ben
now.
is.
And it's available on iTunes, TuneIn. I like saying it really fast. iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, Google Play Music, and
Of course.
CNET.com.
There we go. See
Bye.
you all on Monday.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.